gonna be her mom, isn't it? Could this be it? Had the nightmare finally ended? Probably not. Maybe this will break the curse on Anita. Maybe she will return to her senses and we can escape from the house and find some help. This might just work out okay after all. As quick as a hammer dropped, my fantasizing was cut short and I crashed back to reality. Shit. It's gonna be her mum. Oh fuck. The woman sprang up on her feet like a reanimated corpse. Blood was still gushing from the cut wound on her face. She looked up, and her arrogant smirk was no longer visible behind the deep gash on her face. Her eyes were blazing with hatred. Well, that picture doesn't really... What's more with feeling? Just keep going until they stop moving. I never felt something hate me with such burning intensity before. Under the evil stare, I froze, unable to move despite my protests. Oh shit, we're dead. And this, kids, is why we don't take drugs. The woman's elegant facade was torn away, and she spoke with a menacing voice that resonated through me. You disgusting little creature, you maimed my beautiful face. Have you any idea how much work this took? Of course you don't. You're an ignorant child. I will make you pay in blood. Anita, take her. From behind, Anita's arms wrapped around me. It didn't matter, as I still had no control over my body. I tried for all my worth to scream, but nothing came out. I stood face to face with her. She opened her mouth, and it continued to stretch wider and wider until it was the size of my head. I'm gonna die. We're gonna die. If you can't break the monster, break the fizz rep. Yeah. Take things from strangers. That's true. The jaws filled my entire vision, and I was suddenly surrounded in darkness. Something sharp dug into the back of my head. Agony spread all over my face. I could feel my skin pull apart like an elastic band on the brink of snapping. It felt like my face was being sucked through a straw. Well, that's us dead. This is it. I'm gonna die. But just when I thought this turmoil would never end, the pain disappeared. I opened my eyes and was back in the room. Anita was there. I take a step back, regaining control over my body. But why am I still alive? I was so certain that would be the end of me. I glanced around the room for answers and see the woman standing with her back to me. This will have to do. Not as pretty as before, but it will suffice for now until I get a new one. Oh, she's taken my face. If you can't... Oh, it's you. You're awake. You've been a real nuisance, you know, but you did serve some purpose. After all, I have you to thank for my imminent release. Not only that, but you've provided me with a new life. I've decided this will be a good way for me to entice new prey. After all the terrible things I've seen tonight, I wasn't prepared for the horror that followed. She's wearing my face. Of course she is. The stranger turned around, and the sight of her woke in me a new nightmare. No, this can't be real. You're me. How? You tiny thing. I did tell you that you'll pay for your that word. You scarred my beautiful face. Taking yours in return is a fair price. But your debt is not settled yet. She let out a mocking laugh, savouring my torment. My dear, you are so preoccupied with what's in front of you that you haven't even noticed the bigger problem. I didn't copy your face. I stole it. Ripped right off your pitiful head. Ow. Now you must wonder what is left in its place. I've ruined you just as you ruined me. I reached up to touch my face. The form was rough and unfamiliar to my hands. What did she do to me? I dashed over to a mirror. Ows. Oh. When I peered into its reflective surface, I almost jumped back in fright. Tears rolled down my eyes, drawing the contours of my new face. It's gonna be just... Oh, shit. Ew. What have you done to me? A million thoughts flooded my mind all at once. How will I go on living with this hideous face? Will anyone recognize me? What will my parents say? How can I make this all right? If only I could go back in time and reboot all this. A wave of panic racked my mind and I was overcome with despair. I felt like I was about to explode. Suddenly, I was light. Everything became distant as the floor folded up behind me and slapped me on the back. I closed my eyes. You don't have any eyes! And let the darkness take me. That was the story of how my life ended, but not for those who knew me. None of them had a clue what happened to me. After all, for them, nothing was out of the ordinary. They saw Rachel resume her life. They saw her attend school, eat dinner with her family, and flirt with boys. But that was not the real Rachel. The imposter took over my life, replacing me in every place I belonged. Oh, that was a pretty bad ending. Okay. I was spared that night, released into the world as a monster without a home or a friend, doomed to watch the imposter live my life. She used her guise as a high schooler to entice more victims to her lair where she would devour them and steal their beauty. Oddly enough, Anita was nowhere to be seen. I have no idea what happened to her. It seems as though I was not the only victim that night. Strangely, no one noticed any of these occurrences in our town. It was as if the creature had a hypnotic spell over everyone. A few people that took notice quickly discarded the thought from their minds. Kids are strange after all. Who knows what's going on inside their heads? Ending 3. The Imposter. Well, we've still... until we finish the stream. And then it'll be... we need a new one to play. Anita disappears out of the room, leaving just me and our surprise guest alone. Don't worry. We won't let anything bad happen to you. You're perfectly safe as long as you're here. And where exactly are we? Oh, this is Anita's house. Her parents aren't around right now, which is why I'm here to keep her company. I'm a friend of hers from school. We go... How did you get the painting? That was, it was Anita's dad. He got it from some auction about a week ago, I think. A week, huh? Is something the matter? Something doesn't feel right. I think I'm beginning to remember. I stared at her intently, giving her space to concentrate. After a brief pause, she continued. Her words catch me off guard. I think you're in danger. Huh? It's all a lie. We need to get out of here get out of her as soon as we can. Here. You can help me, can't you? Hold on. I don't understand what you're talking about. The other world behind the painting, I saw them. That's where he's been keeping them. Who? The girls. They were put in about a week ago. Your friend isn't who she says she is. Her family has been kidnapping vulnerable women all this time. That's not true. I can't believe it. It's true. Think about it. You said Anita brought the painting here last week. In that time, whilst I was trapped in the other world, I've seen other women thrown in there too. There is no other way for them to get there. That painting is the only gateway into that world, and your friend had it the whole time. That's crazy. That can't be possible. Panic suddenly spreads across the woman's face. She presses both hands against the sides of her head as if to keep it from exploding. You don't understand. You must believe me. We are in great danger. They must have been doing this for years. What makes you say that? Look, I've known Anita for years, and I just don't picture her doing the things you're claiming. That's because she's been keeping the truth from you. You can't trust her. She didn't tell you about Hannah after all. There it was, the moment where I could no longer ignore her words. My heart sank at the mention of my sister's name. How do you know that name? The other world is like a desert. It's vast and desolate, but there are other lost wanderers trapped. I remember one traveller there, a little girl. She said her name was Hannah. I feel a lump in my throat and my eyes well up. I never expected to hear news on my little sister ever again. Hope gripped my heart, and hope was exactly what I was afraid of. She told me about you, Rachel. Now I know who you are. She adores you and always believed you'd be able to save her one day, but she also told me about the one who made her disappear from her world. It's all coming back to me now. Her name was Anita. She was a friend of her sister and she betrayed her. One day she waited for Hannah after school and led her away to a forest. That was where her family ambushed and kidnapped Hannah. She's trapped in the painted world ever since. I'm sorry, Rachel, but your friend is evil. And now she has us both inside her house. We need to get out of here quickly. At that moment, the bedroom door creaked open. Anita emerged. Sorry I'm late, guys. It took me forever to go through my mess. I'm such a klutz. She paused, only just detecting the tension in the air. I kept my back turned to her. Guys, what's going on? Tell me. Anita, what took you so long? What were you doing? I was fetching something for the woman to wear like you asked me to. Was that all you did? Seems like an awfully long time for a simple task. I said I'm sorry, alright. Is that what this is about? Are you mad that I took my time? And what about the painting? Did you really get it from an auction? Yes, I already told you where it came from. Why are you asking me all of this? Uh-oh. The woman, she remembers something. All the girls that have been disappearing, she said your family are responsible. You've kidnapped them. What? That's a complete lie. Why would you say that? So you deny it? Of course I deny it. Why would you even believe this stranger? You know me, I would never do anything like that. What about Hannah? Suddenly the anger was wiped off Anita's face. Her skin turned pale. I could see in her eyes she was keeping something secret from me. There was no denying it. Tears started to stream from her eyes. I couldn't stop myself from crying too. Oh my God, it's true, isn't it? You did something to her. No, it's not like that. Rachel, I don't understand. Why are you talking like this? You've been hiding something about Hannah, haven't you? Don't try to deny it. I can tell just from looking at you. Tell me what happened to my sister. Okay, it's true. I saw her. I saw Hannah. I was probably the last person to ever see her. The day she disappeared after school, I was heading over to a friend's place and took the scenic route near the old forest. That was when I saw Hannah. She was wandering by herself, so I went over to check if she was alright. She was in a gloomy mood and wanted to be alone. Looking back, I know it was the wrong thing to do, but I let her go into the forest alone. I knew when I was down I didn't want to be around anyone either, so I just left her. Ooh. I love how you're reading it out to us. Oh, I didn't think I was adding any tones or anything. But thank you. After she went missing, I just felt incredibly guilty. I could have stopped all of this from happening if I had just stayed with her. I know it's a shitty thing to do. You left her alone in the forest? Why did you do that? Don't you know how irresponsible you were? And look, I know, it was stupid and I've never forgiven myself for it. Rachel, I'm so sorry. I should have been there for her. I wish I could take it all back. Why didn't you tell me before? You kept this all a secret. The police could have done something if you had told them where you saw her. I know it wasn't right for me to keep that secret from you. I really did mess up. You were going through so much. I didn't want this to come between us. I was afraid you'd hate me. Gods know I hate myself for it. I never wanted you to find out this way. It was incredibly selfish of me. I know. I've lived with the guilt every day. Every time I looked at you, I felt regret and I hated myself more and more. But that was my punishment. I had to live with the choices I made. All the crap I've been feeling is all I deserve. I'm just so sorry, Rachel. I didn't mean to hurt you like this. She's trying to trick you again. Don't be fooled. You caught her in her own lie already. You must see that she's hiding something more from you. So that is it then. No more lies. This is what really happened. Yes, I promise you. You have to believe me. Right, I'm going to save it so that we don't have to do all this bit again. Right, what do we want to do? Are we dicing it? We're dicing it. We said we're dicing it. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, we trust her. 4, 5, 6, we don't trust her. We got a 5, guys. We got a 5. We do not trust her. I thought you were my friend, and all these years you knew something about what happened to Hannah, and yet you didn't tell me. That kind of information could have helped. It could have saved her. But you refused to tell anyone about it, and it just doesn't make sense. It's as if you didn't want her to be found. Rachel, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. Rachel, you see through her lies, don't you? I do. My sister is gone because of you, and maybe you planned this meeting as a way to kidnap me as well. I just don't know you anymore. Wait. Your friend is only a part of this sinister operation. Her family's plot already claimed many victims, including your sister. You must stop that from ever happening again. Silence fell over us. Tension ran between us like electricity. Then within a heartbeat, Anita spun around and darted for the door. She mustn't escape, not after what she's done. Without a thought, I sprang after her, grabbing her shoulder. Anita whipped around and swiped a nailed claw across my face. Red flashed in front of my vision. Rage boiled up inside of me. Ooh, Anita looked back in terror. I lunged forward and tackled her to the ground. All the anger that's been boiling up inside of me for all the days weeping for my missing sister, I focused them into my fist and directed it towards Anita. Oh, jeez. Ow! Bashing her head against the floor. Over and over, I beat her head down. I didn't realise I was screaming all this time until it became the only sound. The tears drained from me and I could finally see clearly again. I looked down at my hands soaked in blood. Following the crimson trail, I settled my gaze on Anita. We killed Anita! Oh shit. Her face was covered in red, her stare fixed on something far away outside of our existence. She remained still and breathless. I've killed her! What have I done? Only what you needed to. The mysterious woman appeared over my shoulder. Oh jeez. This is what you came for. Okay. There was no other way. You saved us. You saved all the would-be victims of her family's schemes. She will not harm another soul again. Your sister would be proud. What do we do now? I just killed someone. My life is over. We must get rid of the body. How do we even do that? There's nowhere we can put it. There is a way inside the painting. What? Think about it. No one else knows of its existence. Oh, this is going to end terribly. We can dispose of Anita in there and all evidence will be erased. The painted world will be her tomb. Considering how she trapped others in there, will just be poetic justice. I nod, not meeting her eyes. I knew it was the only option left. I picked up Anita's lifeless body and helped throw her through the painting. Then I witnessed a new phenomenon when the painting transformed once again. The painting canvas that had become empty overnight revealed a picture of Anita. Ooh, oh shit. All evidence of that night was erased. The only remnant of the incident was a new painting hanging on her wall. I don't know what happened to the woman. She seemed to disappear shortly after we put Anita through the painting. Maybe she ran away to be as far away from here as possible. Eventually, the police were investigating when Anita was reported missing. They scrutinized me about the events of that night, and I didn't know what to tell them. I was no good at lying. Perhaps against my better sense of judgment, I told them the truth. I told them about the painting coming to life. I told them that Anita had disappeared inside the painting. I left out the part where I killed her, though. That would be a cool one. That would be a really cool ending. My answers didn't satisfy the authorities, of course. The case remained unsolved and I was diagnosed with severe mental paranoia. It didn't take long for them to commit me to an asylum. No matter how much I protested my sanity, no one believed me. That's the problem when you're insane. There are times when I wonder myself if I dreamt up the whole thing, but those doubts never linger. How could I forget those red-stained hands and the terror in her eyes? Okay, we got another ending, I think. Wow, what ending did we get? We got ending 3, which was imposter. 15. Ending 15. Yeah. Well, you'd go insane if you murdered your friend and thought she murdered your sister.